Right, here I am. So I'm gonna get the stream and pass it on to you. So let me know if you're in, and I'll just pass it on to you here. Okay. Right, so hopefully we'll be fixed. Hi, no volume. Okay. Can you hear me? This is a bit of a mess. My computer's been all over the place today. So can you hear me okay? Volume is fine. Okay, good. Right, let me just sort this out. So we've got the in-play guru top at the moment. And I'll just get into the live stream so I can view it. Sorry about this. This is all new to me, and I have had some computer issues this morning, which made life very difficult. I was way behind. There I am. Yeah, I can hear myself. And we should be looking at the in-play guru at the moment. So there we go. Good stuff. So let me just get myself organized. So I've got the live score on. I've got Football 24 on. And the Wolfsburg have taken a lead against Mainz. That's no surprise at all. And Bologna have taken advantage of the Red Star red card. I was a bit worried that Red Star might hold on, given they are top four. That's about it at the moment. So do sign in if you're here, just to say a quick hello. Alan says there's no volume, but Stuart says the volume is fine. So I hope the volume is okay. And let me take you on a quick tour. So we're going to have a look. Oh, cool. Let's have a quick look at the live scores. Make sure you've got them set up. And Bayer Leverkusen have scored first. Didn't fancy them today, but the market did. So good for them. And again, I think I have to go back to the screen and back in again. I will get used to this. I'm not sure why this streaming didn't happen earlier on. I'm a bit puzzled by that, because I should normally go straight into this live stream. So in future, I think I'd better just do it like I did today and on spec. So do sign in, anybody else who's watching. So you can see Bayer Leverkusen have scored first. Good stuff, Alan. Thank you. Bayer Leverkusen have scored first. You can't hear me. Well, that seems to be an issue with you, Alan. Alan, it seems to be an issue with you. As Stuart says, he can hear. And William. So it looks to be an isolated issue with you all. Thanks very much, everyone. So let's have a quick check. This is Football 24. These are the matches on at the moment. I think we can get rid of that. Well, Estac Trois could do with a point, couldn't they? Red Star looks like job done, I think. Rayo Vallecano don't have an opinion. Valladolid against Albacete, no thank you. Turkish League 2, no tar. This could be a possible play. We've got Vukovar, newly promoted in the Croatian HNL 1 league. Andrew can hear me as well, and William. So it seems Alan, it's the issue is purely with Alan. So apologies, Alan, I can't help you. Como looks job done. Banker material, like Middlesbrough earlier on. And a Werder Bremen by Leverkusen goal has been disallowed. Andrew Chappell can hear as well. So, yeah, I hope Alan can fix his hearing issue, his audio issue. Mainz and the Wolf. Well, Mainz, the need is great, but the team is not great. So I'm just going to go back and share with you the in-play guru. So hopefully you can see that now. You can see Rayo Vallecano have come from behind in this particular match. It's 13th against 12th. There's no real issues with relegation problems or no real European ambitions for these two. But you can see the momentum graph is solidly with the home side, who have come from behind against Osasuna. It's not a match I want to pin my hopes on too much. Valladolid and Albacete, looking at the league positions again, is there any motivating factor here? Well, not really, is there? More mid-table mediocrity from these two. And look at the momentum graph. It's just solidly straight. There's nothing going on. And it looks like we've got the timing is very accurate, which is great. Normally, there's a bit of a buffer. So maybe coming on straight away onto this webcam helps massively. Red Star and Bologna. Well, Bologna have taken advantage of the red, haven't they? Quite clearly, a big rise in momentum. I don't think I'll be looking at that one. And we'll bring our German friends on board as well soon. We might see something from Estac Trois here. They are top of the tree at the moment. A comfortable enough lead at the top. Would like to retain a top two berth. Thank you very much, Alan. You can hear now. Brilliant stuff. Appreciate that. So keep an eye out on Estac Trois. They certainly have the carrot of staying in the top two. Oh, Perry Como. This is exactly what I expected. And I told you in the research, I expect 2 goals from them today against a mid-table side. It's just what they tend to do. What a pity Torino didn't take the lead there. Juve Stabia against Entella. I don't have an opinion, but Frosinone might offer us something against Reggiana. It is currently top against 14th. So you can keep an eye on how the stats develop here. And you can see with the momentum graph that it is the home side that is dominating the match at the moment. Cesena against Bari. I'll just grab some liquid. I might have to get a quick water or something. Just a biscuit gone down the wrong way. So let me just get a drink. I might have to get a drink. I'll see you very soon. Just going to get a drink. Right. Sorry about that. Just losing my voice there a bit. Cesena looked to be dominating Bari here, as you'd expect. 19th in the league, always gettable. Watch out for Winter Tour later on in Switzerland. 2 shots on, 7 off and 10 corners at half time. So we might have an angle or two in with that particular match. So keep an eye on those stats there. I think we might have an angle in. I'm just doing a little bit of housekeeping in the background, and then I'll get back to the stats. So excuse me for a sec. Okay. So Cesena and Bari, I think it's a goer second half. It looks like Bari are in for a torrid time second half. Monza against Pescara, 3rd against 20th. Again, we got one of those promotion v relegation battles. We're going to see a lot of them. We saw it with Auxerre yesterday against Paris Saint-Germain, and Pisa against Inter Milan as well. Let's bring our German friends into the equation from an in-play stats perspective, because we've got 20 minutes gone. I haven't heard any dings yet. I'm just going to sort out the leagues, and then we'll have a quick shufti at this. So the main matches will be German Bundesliga, now that Como have done the business by half-time, which is a pity. Keep an eye on Mainz, because they desperately need something, don't they? Relegation, 6-pointer. And if you've got any angles yourselves, do pass them on. Frankfurt and Hoffenheim, I expected this to be a 3-3 or 2-3, something like that, and a goal before half-time. We've already seen that after 18 minutes. So no surprises there. Bayer Leverkusen did have the ball in the back of the net, but it was disallowed. 1.19 expected goals is pretty decent. They're creating enough chances for the 3 shots that they've had. They have been quality chances, enough to score. They're keeping Werder Bremen very quiet indeed, but they are on a very poor run at the moment, Bayer Leverkusen, and they just don't look that reliable. Don't forget our old pals, Bayern Munich, 2-goal heroes. Expect them to score at least 2 goals again today, unless the curse of the Champions League bites. Heidenheim against Leipzig. Well, we see the problems Heidenheim have. 17th against 5th. Leipzig are far better at home. They are a little wobbly away from home. So I would be a little cautious with them today. Just going to... There we go, that Red Star in Bologna. Red Star making it 2-2. This was what I was worried about. Well, I didn't play, but you can see where they are in the league. Even if they have 10 men, it still doesn't mean that they're going to cock things up. And it's nice to see that it seemed to be very quick time-wise. There doesn't seem to be that buffer today, which should help the trading no end. So Bologna and Red Star, might we get a late winner, given Red Star have shown a capability for scoring that second goal, down to 10. So keep an eye on that one if you see any value there. I'll just have a quick look at the market while you're looking at the Guru. Let's see if there is any value to be had in the Red Star match. Red Star and Bologna. But it's 1.28 to lay the draw. It's a little bit too early for me, but I would put in a 1.09 and a 1.06. So let me just see if I can get that screen up for you. So we're going to have a look at this one here. So you can see those odds there. You can start now if you'd like at 1.25, or you could wait for 109, 106. For me, I'm going to go 109, 106. I better put these on as well too, so I can keep an eye on the scores as they come in. So I'm going to go here. 1.09, 23 quid, £2 liability. 1.06, 32 quid, £2 liability. And that will capture any late goal. We could go either way. The 11 players could get a late winner, or the side who was second in the league could, as you've seen up there, score yet another goal. The throat's a little bit hoarse. I think the biscuit went down the wrong way. So that would be my first play of this session. I'll bring you back to the in-play guru, where the in-play stats are going to be vital. 3 o'clocks continue. Seems I have to press the screen and then come back again. So let's just catch up with a few more matches which might be of interest to us as the 3 o'clocks come on board, and do a bit of housekeeping as well. I like to get rid of a few of these matches. Try to home in on the major leagues and the most readable teams within those leagues. Don't forget the post-Champions League element today. I don't like the look of the SPL today. It doesn't look very readable. I don't know what to make of Aberdeen or Livingston, but the market's clear. Motherwell, though, they're a tough nut to crack, Motherwell, so they could be buying as 1-0, says Stuart. Thank you very much, Stuart. That's, well, 1.09 shot. That's absolutely no surprise, is it? So I think Motherwell are the side for me to follow. The likes of Rangers have found it very difficult to score against them. So that could be a good angle. 2.7 the favourite there for Falkirk and Hibs. No thanks at all. And I'll give the civil service strollers a miss today, I think. The lower tiers are not very good. A couple of matches of interest for me in the Championship will be Partick Thistle and St Johnstone, who are your archetypal. Rayo Vallecano, Osasuna 1-3. Wow, I didn't expect that. So those are the matches of interest. You can see there's 2.35 the favourite in a lower tier. It's not for me. So just the top two in the Scottish Championship for me to monitor. St Johnstone have been a very good trading side. Cluj, very strong odds on at home, so they'll get a quick look in. And what you see in the blue there is the watch list. So I'm just catching sides that catch the eye and keeping an eye on them. See whether we have a trading angle or two. We can see the 3 o'clock starting to populate as well. So there's a few odds on favourites today. There are a few top team clashes. It'll be interesting to see in those lower tiers if they deliver as Middlesbrough did earlier on. They were absolutely superb. Real banker material now. Suddenly started scoring goals after a whole raft of matches where they just couldn't find the back of the net, and that could have cost them their playoff place. But now they're happy in top two. A bit like Darmstadt yesterday, who I hope you played. Lots of these secondary tiers. I know I can change this via the league, but I like doing it this way because then it makes sure I don't accidentally hide a match which could be tradable. We can get rid of all of this lot as the 3 o'clocks progress. The goals aren't coming in as yet, so we're not missing anything. We've got a few Finnish matches today as well. Keep an eye on the Finnish league. Olympiacos, odds on today, tend to deliver. Let's get the Bundesliga matches that I like up. Leipzig especially. So this is the watch list at the moment. I've got 109, 107 in the Red Star match and the Bologna match. It's a suspended market. Could be the end of the match, I would suspect. I don't expect there to be any goal, to be honest. But it would be a nice surprise. No, looks like the match has ended, or there has been a goal. And it's Bologna, but my 109, 106 did not get matched. Did you get in before me? Let me know in the comments. No, it remains a draw. My apologies. I thought Bologna got in with a goal. I still got my 1.09, 1.06 to get matched. So we will see what we will see with that one. It's currently 1.1 and 1.12 for the draw. Just waiting for it to move. So if you played, hopefully we can get capture a late winner. That would be very nice indeed. So just move back. We've got the 3 o'clocks beginning. Got to be very cautious with these 3 o'clocks. Make sure we don't overextend ourselves as far as liability is concerned. With so many matches, you don't want to be getting involved in every single one of them. That is a surprise. Osasuna bagging a couple of late goals. Capitulation from Valladolid or Vallecano. So Serie B, I would be looking at Cesena and Bari if I was you, at the possibility of laying that draw second half. If, as you can see in the first half, those secondary stats can be converted into goals. Can you see those secondary stats there? 7 shots off target, 10 corners. You can see those boxes lit up just where my mouse is. And if you hover your mouse over, you can see the actual times, which is very important, because if we start the second half and you just see that, you'll think, wow, they're looking really good. But then you look into it and they might not have had any shots or corners second half. So you've got to make sure that you see the last timing. You saw that with Eintracht Braunschweig earlier on. No shot on target since the 18th minute, even against 10 men. And they weren't adding to that shot on target at all. It was an appalling performance for a side who had to win against bottom of the league. Monza and Pescara, again, 10 shots off target, relegation threatened against against promotion hopefuls. We're going to see a lot of these clashes in every single league. Look at this: Red Star, second against 16th, first against 14th, fifth against 19th, third against 20th, 16th against second. We're just seeing them here, there, and everywhere. This is the part of the season where you're going to see some potential upsets from this crew. Venezia are doing a good job against Mantova. Let's just ready ourselves for the 3 o'clocks. We've got a suspended market. That's probably the end of the match. This is my odds-on favourite list. Man City odds-on today, but they look very ropey. Odds-on, don't they? So, and Red Star Bologna ends 2-2, and I've lost a massive £4 there. Absolutely nothing to worry us at all. On the screen I'm looking at the moment, these are the odds-on favourites I've picked out. They're good for a couple of reasons. We'll know, as with Lokomotiv Zagreb, if the odds-on favourite has conceded the first goal. So I'm going to bring that Croatian match up to watch the in-play stats. See if Lokomotiv Zagreb offer us anything. And we've got some odds-on favourite goals coming in already. You might not be able to hear them, but I've got them on my alert system. So just looking for Croatia. And it's no shots on, 4 shots off and 5 corners for Lokomotiv Zagreb. So do you fancy a bit of that? We've got an odds-on favourite goal coming in. Blackpool, can you see that in the bottom left? Blackpool against Northampton. Odds-on favourite goal. So just do a little investigation. It's the odds-on favourite who has scored the goal. So nothing really to worry ourselves with there. It would be a different matter if it was like the Vukovar one. The stats for the Vukovar. Are you tempted by this one? 4 shots off, 5 corners. It's a tight match, 34 attacks to 25. Pre-match 1.75 favourite. Last time these two played, it was a 1-1 draw. That was in October 2025. Vukovar, well, they like conceding 2 goals, don't they? But these are all been European friendly. So what that tells me is we're coming off a winter break in Croatia. So just rein it in a little bit, because that is the point where you're going to get upsets. And Grimsby have scored first against Cheltenham. That's a match to just check, because one of these two is an odds-on favourite. So let's have a quick look. And indeed, it's the odds-on favourite, Grimsby, who have scored first against Cheltenham. So this is a good alert system I have. And it's thanks to Soccer 4, as you can see there. We get alerted whenever the odds-on favourites score a goal, or there's a goal in an odds-on favourite match. And we can investigate, and we can say whether to play or not. And as you can see there, the odds-on favourite has scored. So it's not a match to fixate on. But this Vukovar one might be, if it's liquid enough. It's a decent enough layout. Look at Mainz here. Do you trust Mainz? It's a 2.35 the favourite match. Now, what I would do in a case like this where I don't trust Mainz, and I'll just share with you, you can see how the match is unfolding. Look at the expected goals here, 1.34. Look at the 3 shots on, 3 shots off and 5 corners. Look at the league position. You probably can't see it. It's all the way down below my screen. So what I would do in a case like this, because I really don't trust the side at all, Manchester City and Mainz have equalised. No, the goal has been disallowed. So that might give us an angle in to look in the half-time markets there. Man City have a lead against Wolves, and you could arguably lay Man City. They are at their most gettable at the moment. And Oxford City have scored first against Leicester. That could be a tough afternoon for Leicester. Oxford have been plying a number of 0-0s recently. And we've got goals coming in galore. Doncaster Rovers and Leicester and Oxford is an odds-on favourite match. So let me have a quick check of that one. And indeed, Oxford United have scored first against Leicester. So I'm going to head off to the in-play guru, or whatever stats feed you're using. And I'm going to look up the Leicester match and keep an eye on the reaction that we're going to get from Leicester. Odds-on favourite at home. But Oxford United, for me, are a tough nut to crack. They could park that bus. So watch out for them. Bayer Leverkusen have the goal. I didn't trust them today. But I'm going to have a look at the Mainz match. See if there are any angles in the Mainz match for you. I just want to see if the market is liquid enough before I show it to you in the half-time market. They've already had a goal disallowed. Well, Wolfsburg are 1.2 to lay in the half-time market. Half-time score is 0-1. It's 1.42 to lay. First half goals, 1.5. You could lay that at 1.39. So I think the best angle is laying Wolfsburg here. I'm going to do a drip lay, and then I'll take the screen and show you the drip lay. Now, this is what I'm talking about, collecting liability losses. They do add up, so I've got to be very careful. Make sure that we don't overextend. But what I'm going to do here is just with simple fivers now. Laying at 1.19 to win a fiver. Laying at 1.14 to win a fiver. Don't forget, we're also working against the clock as well. Only 6 minutes to go. But they have had a goal in the back of the net. 1.09 to win 11 quid, because that keeps me under a quid liability. And the magical 1.06, I can up that to 17 quid. That keeps me £1 under the liability. So there we go. Those are all set now. If we can get a Mainz equaliser before half-time. And Paul says the Mainz XG is high because they missed a penalty. Thank you very much, Paul. You can get... I've got my AI XG. My AI XG analyzer has taken into account penalties as well. So thank you very much for that, Paul. It just gives a false alarm from their XG perspective. But having a ball in the back of the net, I hope, was from open play. But at any rate, if they don't score, we're not going to lose much money, are we? That's the key. So I've got a lot of goals coming in my ears. That's why I'm a little... But let me get back to the guru. And then we can keep an eye on the Mainz match. So, as Paul says, the XG of 1.6 factors in a penalty. So thank you very much, Paul, for that confirmation there. But I like the rising momentum there, Paul. As you can see, they have dominated since about midway. They do need a goal. So it's a nice low liability play. I don't trust them. That's why I'm going half-time market with low liability. So I'm happy with that particular route. We've got a few goals coming in. Burnley nearly had a goal in the back of the net, but disallowed. And Bari have scored first against Cesena. This is Bari, 19th place in Serie B. So I will keep an eye on that, given the fact that our old pals Cesena were so dominant in the first half. Just have a look at this Bari goal. I will have a look at it. And it's come up on my odds-on list. Oh, sorry. I've just clicked the wrong one. Bet365. There we go. It's come up on the odds-on favourite list, as you can see. Cesena and Bari. So this could be a play. It might be a possible play, this. Just based on the league position. I want to see whether that goal is an own goal or a penalty for Bari. Or whether... Well, it's from open play. Rao. Mr. Rao from open play. I'll go back to the odds-on favourite list. From what we saw in the first half, Cesena were all over Bari, but it's at this stage of the season, this is what happens. Some of these newly promoted or relegation threatened sides. And there's that equaliser for Lokomotiv Zagreb. I don't know if any of you fancied that one based on the... Yeah, indeed, Stuart. I hope you played. I don't know if you fancied it based on the 4 shots off and 5 corners from the first half, because it's very early in the half. Partick Thistle of the opening goal. That's not a surprise for me. I was eyeing them and who else was it? St Johnston in the Championship. Kilmarnock of the opening goal against Motherwell. Now, this could be interesting because Motherwell are a tough old nut to crack. So this could be an interesting play. If it's confirmed, I've got the in-play stats up here for that one. So I'll share this tab. If Motherwell can continue, look at their recent record. Rangers took until the second half to score a single goal, and Rangers are arguably the form side in Scotland at the moment. Motherwell beat Celtic 2-0. They beat St Mirren 2-0. Clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. And look at that compared to Kilmarnock. Both teams have scored in the last 4 matches for Killie. So I think this could be a possible play here. I'm not too keen on the SPL, but I like what I'm seeing from Motherwell. It looks like it could be a play. And look at Mainz. 5 shots on, 5 off, 6 corners. 1.76 XG, up from 1.6 earlier. We've only got a couple of minutes left. That's why I've kept my liability low. But if we can capture that 1-1, great. If we can't, you can rethink it in the second half. Win, draw, draw, win, and then suddenly a loss recently. They've only had a smattering of wins all season. I'll bring up the website because I've done all the research already. I might as well use it. So I'll bring up the Football Trading Profits website. Although I don't think I researched this one, given they're in awful form, both of these two sides. So we go to the daily research for Saturday, and we'll have a quick look at Mainz. Yeah, I did an AI for this, so I'll just wait to see what it says. It's indicative of the fact that the market couldn't pick a winner. So Mainz are 17th in Bundesliga with only 2 wins and 18. They're missing their starting keeper and 3 key defenders. Wolfsburg's Pekjinovic and Jonas Vint are key attacking absentees. So that could help to get that Mainz equaliser. Wolfsburg have scored exactly 1 goal in 5 of the last 6 away Bundesliga matches. So that could be another possible if you want to take a risk. The top trading insights from AI has gone for Wolfsburg draw no bet. So that's effectively saying they want to lay Mainz. Under 2.5 goals. Attacking absentees, it says. And Mohamed Amoura to score or assist. So once I get, if I can, get Football Trading Profits app up and ready, and I'll just show you it soon, then we will have all of this at your fingertips. Frosinone have taken the lead, top of the league in Italian Serie A. So let's take a quick look. I'm going to keep an eye on Motherwell. I think they could do a number today. Bayern Munich have got their goal. We're expecting them to score at least 2 goals. Plenty of goals coming in. Aberdeen 2-0 up already against Livy. Motherwell, Kilmarnock is a video review, and that's 0-0. So we're not going to have a trading opportunity there, which is a real pity because I did fancy that one. That's for sure. Not getting any joy yet from Mainz in the half-time market, but never mind. Want to reinvestigate second half. They desperately need the points, that's for sure. So we might get ourselves a play out of that one. So fingers crossed that we can get that one up and running. I'll just sort this out. So Motherwell, just waiting on them. Well, we don't need to wait on them anymore, do we? That goal has been disallowed. So a quick look through. We're about on the hour mark, 2/3 of the way through Serie B. And I think I'm going to play Cesena and Bari. Look at this. I think that could be something for me to have a go at. Cesena and Bari. It looks, if I can get decent insurance, well, it's 1.44. So up to you if you want to take insurance out or not. But I tend to do it myself. So let me put that up for you and show you. So it's up to you, the insurance, completely up to you, because it's going to be a little costly. I've got a suspended market up. I hope I haven't missed the equaliser. I'm just trying to bring up the screen. We've got a goal coming in. And there's the equaliser for Cesena. Missed it. Oh. Disappointed. I am disappointed. I missed that one. Sorry, the tab is going down. I was heading off. I had the market open. And I was about to pull the trigger. What a pity. Hope I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen, Let's just check this out. No, everything okay, is it? Yeah, looks like we're okay. Gutted with that. That would have been a nice play. Did any of you look at that particular match? Because you've got your in-play stats feed as well. If you took that one on, that was a nice, quick equaliser for Cesena. You can see there against Bari. Doesn't matter what league we're in, does it? This is the beauty of a real solid setup, which I'll show you. A really setup. This is the kind of setup you should be looking for. This at Cesena and Bari. If I can get the in play to turn up, so you're not staring at me all day. You should be seeing the in play guru. No. So I'm not sure what's going on. You don't want to be staring at me all day long. There we go. So this is the absolute ideal setup. You want an odds-on favourite at home. You want an obvious difference in quality, which you can see by the league positions. You want the in-play stats to show you. And hopefully we've got the Football 24. We've got the in-play guru up. All this technology, eh? So let me just see if I can get that back up for you. There we go. So hopefully you can see it. I might be a little bit behind on my tab, that's why. So let me know in the comments if you can't see it. I think I'm a little bit behind. There we go. It should be up now. So it's the ideal scenario. Odds on at home, gap in quality. I'll just get a full screen there, so I can keep tabs on the tab. Oh boy, the joys of technology. And you can see momentum rising, stats rising. Perfect. If you could just look for these kind of scenarios all day long, you would be making a fair whack and some very consistent profits at that. You can see why I got that kind of an interest with Mainz, but the gap in quality is not quite there, is it? If you look at the league position, near bottom against 12th. We probably can't even see them all the way. Look, you can't even see their league position. That's not a good sign, is it? When we're looking for the league position. There we go. 18th against 12th. So we're not getting that Cesena Bari vibe, are we? That's why I wanted to go half-time market. So looking at the half-times, if you're looking at the first half, you'll be with a Mainz equaliser, or at least cover that 0-1 for the Wolf. Frankfurt and Hoff might not be over. 2.2 favourite Hoffenheim might offer us something. We've got more goals coming in, and nothing of interest there. Maritimo and Felgueras. By Leverkusen, Werder Bremen, don't have a strong opinion, but my instinct says that Leverkusen are layable at the moment. We've got an odds-on favourite goal come in. That's Maritimo Felgueras. Okay. And Bayern Munich, we're expecting a second goal from them second half. So if this becomes a 1-1, that for me would be the angle in, knowing as you do that they tend towards that second goal. Heidenheim in Leipzig, well, it's your typical relegation dogfight side against a side who haven't been performing that well away from home. And I've lost the comments as well. So Peaky Blinder Cat, thank you very much. Would you take insurance on Cesena? Well, it's gone now, but I always do, John, because if you take the insurance out on Cesena, if it becomes 0-1 for a side who need the points, you're okay, aren't you? The difference in the +1 though has to be good enough for you to make a profit. So 1.44 to lay over 1.5 goals. I didn't get to the +1 in time because it was suspended. But if it's anything like evens or higher or 2.2, I would take that on. That would be great. Or you could go straight into the match odds and play that move there. It's up to you, John, if you want to take insurance or not. Given it's 19th in the league, you could do as well a check of Soccer 24 as well, just to see, not Soccer 24, Soccer Stats, to see whether Cesena have that consistent scoring habit in the second half, or whether Bari consistently concede as well away from home. Let's just have a look at our odds on favourite list, which I hope I'm able to share this tab with you. Indeed, I am. So let's take a walk through the odds on favourite list. And I hope Stuart got on the Lokomotiv Zagreb equaliser there. That's why I do this list. If they concede, we'll know about it. We investigate in-play stats. If you like what you see and you like the fact that Vukovar are newly promoted, bang, you can get involved. You'll have probably seen those Cesena Bari come up on this list as well. You might not have had that on your radar earlier on in the day, but that's the beauty of just organising yourself like this. So later on, we've got Rijeka against Slaven Belupa. I've got my vibration plate up now, so I might be sounding a bit like Joe Pasquale in a second. Man City and Wolves. Well, I'll keep an eye on the stats there, because Man City shaky as my legs on a vibration plate at the moment. So I'll bring up the Man City match on the in-play guru. I think just got that feeling about them. They're an awful form relative to what they should be. They've got a left back. I've forgotten his name, but he's as shaky as Elvis Presley on a vibration plate. You saw him against Bodo Glimt, letting in 2 of the goals. Just trying to get to, here we go, the Premier League here. Tough Premier League day today, so I'm not going to be rushing in, but Fulham are looking good against Brighton. Man City 108. I might be tempted with that, a bit nearer the time. Olympiacos have that goal against Volos. No surprise there for the 1.15 pre-match favs. Looking at the Championship, we've got odds on Birmingham against Stoke. No breakthrough yet. Bristol City against Sheffield Wednesday. We might see the breakthrough second half if Bristol City are up for it, as Birmingham City were up for it last week against Sheffield Wednesday. And we're going to keep an eye out on Leicester City against Oxford. But I just have a sneaky suspicion that this Oxford side are very stout defensively. So that could be a tough day for the Foxes. They're like, if you concede, if they score first, they're likely to be hard to be shaken off. We'll confirm that with the in-play stats. Blackpool have the opening goal against Northampton, as you can see there. Bolton, there's no goal yet against Leyton Orient. Wickham, Peterborough, very under par at odds on last week. Very disappointing indeed. 4-0 for El Pericomo. Unbelievable stuff. Look how many odds on favourites there are in English League 2 today. And Bromley have conceded first against Swindon. They're just slightly odds against, but they were probably odds on when I listed them. Cambridge United 0-0. Grimsby have the goal. Colchester at odds on have the goal. Gillingham, nothing yet. MK Dons 1.39 delivering. Chesterfield, no goal. Salford at odds on are in front. So the only one really is Bromley and Swindon. So I will look for that one in English League 1. Bromley. And so we're going to go back to the in-play guru and look for Bromley against Swindon in English League 1. I don't know anything about these two sides. But what you do know is that, let's have a look. What you do know is that L comes before, there we go, before N. English League One, Bromley. Just in case Bromley are looking like they deserve their quote, I might have the match saved up there already because I can't see it. Can't see anything about Bromley there. There's Bolton against Leyton Orient. No shots on yet for Bolton. Motherwell have the goal. Is that Bromley? That's League Two. Okay. So that's going to be on the watch list. Motherwell have the goal against Killy. What a pity Kilmarnock's goal didn't stand earlier on, because that would have been a really nice trading angle in. Now, Motherwell are going to be another one of those sides. Very tough to shake off a lead. That's for sure. Bundesliga odds-ons delivering. Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. Leipzig, not so much, but it's going to be a Heidenheim 10-man defence at home. You just have to look at the live standings to see. Is a point going to be beneficial for Heidenheim today? No. Another 2, and they would bring Augsburg into the equation, wouldn't they? They are, importantly, in the relegation playoff place. I better this tab with you. Hopefully you can see it. They are in the relegation playoff place, as you can see, Heidenheim. That's, if you're going to be in the bottom 3, that's where you want to be. But a win, if they can somehow shake this Leipzig side and get the win, excellent. But Leipzig, 4th place currently in the Champions League places with that draw today. And they could do with ending this poor run against Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, and Union Berlin. Look where these 2 are. Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, Union Berlin. All top 10 sides they're losing to. So you should expect them to do something second half. And what we can do, we can actually have a look at the second half stats. I'll just bring up the in-play guru and I'll do some investigation for you. Whether or if Leipzig score second half goals. So let me do a quick look of that. While you're looking at the stats, we've got another odds-on favourite. That's MK Budapest. 5-0 now for old Perry Como, another one of my odds-on favourites delivering. Not odds-on favourites, but bankers. They have been great. I'm going to keep an eye on these bankers because we might be able to do them as an accumulator each day. Could get evens or better about the accumulator. And it might be something that you bet and go people might enjoy rather than a trading angle. And I've still got to do all of my bet and go. I couldn't get it done today because of my computer, but the bet and goes, I'm going to get them analysed and see if we have an angle in. I'm looking at all sorts of angles. I'm looking at the half-time, full-time market. I'm looking at second half goals, i.e. can we lay the draw at half-time willy-nilly in these matches, just ad hoc in these matches? Can we just lay the draw? And indeed, in the matches with the lowest draw odds of the day, they seem to be good candidates for laying the draw, funnily enough, if you cover that 0-0. Heidenheim, well, there are no winning 5 matches for Heidenheim. You, soccerstats.com. 3 defeats in 4, but we've put them into context for Leipzig, haven't we? Coming against the top 9. So they're just meeting a good number of sides, or good quality sides, all in a lump. So that could be the reason there. We're looking at second half goals. So let's go down and have a look at these second half goals. Well, high number conceded in the last 9 at home and in the last 18 overall. Not looking good for them today, is it? But we're looking at whether Leipzig can do a number. And you can see Leipzig should be feeling fairly confident. Look at all of this against 17th and lower. Yes, there's only a 0-1 against Mainz, but they're clean sheets. So they're highly likely to be the next goal scorer. So that could be of interest to us. But it's the goal times that will be interesting today. And you can see here, 11 of 19 goals conceded second half by Heidenheim have come second half. That's 58%. And for Leipzig, well, it's a little concerning that 73% of the goals scored away have come in the first half. So that's a slight concern there. 8 shots, 8 goals in the first half. So, well, we've got a Bari goal again. Are we going to see a Cesena equaliser again? 76th minute, just as their momentum was rising. So it could be something for you to think about. Possibility of a 2-2 for Cesena, but they are pushing their luck a bit, having to come back from behind yet again against a side who desperately need points. So let me just clean up a few of these tabs. And then we can sort this out. Okay, let's have a quick look through our matches of interest at the top here. Juve Stabia, well, no surprise there, 8 against 15th. I'm not got a strong handle in there. Frosinone got the 1-0 lead, so I can take that off the watch list, I think. But this could be interesting. The possibility of Cesena getting a second goal, if they can. They did score 2 against Reggiana last match, but going through a bit of a poor run of late. Got a 3-2 against Mantova. They'll need to do a bit of that today. But this is a surprise second goal for Bari. It's probably come up here, as you can see there. So we can look, see whether that goal was a penalty. Oh, Monchino from open play, so no problem there. So we'll keep an eye on this match to see if there's a late lay of Bari, because they are 19th in the league. Monza and Pescara, well, I think that could be over. But Pescara are starting to move up. Momentum-wise, you can see there, 12 shots off target. Stopped really one to focus on. And you've got that lead now for Lokomotiv Zagreb if you played that one. So I'll get rid of the Monza match, I think. Mantova and Venezia's job done by second in the league. So we can get rid of that. Lokomotiv Zagreb is already 2-1. So if you played that one, well done. Tend to take insurance if I can. It was on the Sunderland game earlier, but was being hopeful they don't score too many away. No, that's right. The Sunderland match. Well, it was just a performance by a side who needed 3 points, a bit like Mainz. So watch out as the second halves begin. Mainz and Wolfsburg. Eintracht Frankfurt against Hoff. Well, we might see a goal fest second half if you fancied three or more goals, or over 4.5 goals. I might have a quick look at that one, see if it's value over 4.5 goals. So this will be the Hoff match. It's just in case Frankfurt come alive. You saw that 3-3, the 3-2s recently. Over 4.5 goals. Well, it's under 4.5 goals. It's 1.1. So I might have a little play in that one, just in case. We've already got one in the bag. So if the Hoff score next, then both of these sides need to push for another goal. So I'll just show you that one. Leipzig have the goal against Heidenheim. Absolutely no surprise there. So let me just bring up. There we go. So I've just done a little play here, laying under 4.5 goals because Frankfurt's recent matches have been 3-2s, 3-3s, and we know the Hoff have goals in them, particularly when the market fancies the Hoff. They do tend, they're not strong favourites, 2.2, but they do tend to get something out of the match. I can't see your chat here for some reason. So that's a pity because I'd like to keep tabs on it. There we go. Good. That's great. Paul, possible lay. The first half draw, Bristol City against Sheffield Wednesday. 12 of 14 Bristol City matches at home have had a first half goal. That was 3:38. So very recent. Possible lay, the first half draw, City and Sheffield Wednesday. So thank you very much, Paul, for that. And Tottenham have the opening goal against Burnley. Not a surprise. It's a redemption-style match for them today. But Paul asked you to take note of that Sheffield Wednesday match against Bristol City. One of my kind of bankers today in the Championship. I'll see if I can bring that match up for you. Yeah, I have to have a chat to make sure these two have turned up. And if you see any value, then go for it. So let's go to the English Championship and check this one out. Sheffield Wednesday looked gettable all day long, but they did concede second half last week. So don't forget that. And you can see it's one-way traffic. Paul is basing this on seasonal stats. 2 shots on, 3 off and 6 corners, 41 minutes. It's not going to cost you too much to have a tickle in the half-time market there if you fancied it. But second half is when Sheffield Wednesday capitulated last week, conceded 2 second-half goals. So that might be the angle in on this occasion. Wraith have scored first against Queen's Park, odds on favourite. So no surprises there. So just have a quick look through these as we're getting to the end of Serie B. Can Bari hold on? Well, just the 7 shots on target for Cesena. Last one, 75th minute. Bari do need the points. So that could be one to eye. But well done to Bari. Second half belongs to them. Will the second half belong to Mainz? Do you fancy playing this one? Do you put your trust in the side in their league position? It's a tricky one, isn't it? They have certainly turned up today, but it's one of those matches. They've been done right at the start of the match. And they have to get an equaliser, and they have to push on. Another goal has come in. Birmingham City have scored against Stoke. Ajax have scored against Volendam. So we're just going to see whether the second half comes alive with Eintracht Frankfurt and the Hoff. And indeed, just having a look at the odds for Bari, they're currently at 1.38. So we'll see whether that's doable late on. Can they hold on? Desperate need for points there. So Ajax and Birmingham, I would say Birmingham were odds on favourite today. Yep, 1.68 odds on favourite. And we've got an equaliser. This is getting interesting now. It's 1-1, Frankfurt and the Hoff, which is great news for your play. Because now, if these sides have to win, they have to score another goal. That will be 3 goals out of the, what did we go for? 4.5. So I've already seen a green screen. It's all relative to the amount you risk, of course, the green screen. So I'll show you that. It's all relative to your risk. Just go make sure I've got the right screen. Let's have a look. Not too sure. Oh, I'll have to. No, that's not it. My apologies. Well, you're starting to see some green anyway there, so that's good. Yeah, it's 1-1, so you can see that one coming up. I can't get the tab up for my virtual private server, which is a pity. But if you did play, we're up and running, which is great. You can see the odds-ons are coming in now. Cambridge against Tranmere. Have a quick check of that one. And 2-0 for Motherwell. Well, it was expected, wasn't it? Cambridge against Tranmere. Well, the odds-on favourite are a goal down, so that's one certainly check out. Right at the end of the first half, English League 2. So we're going to go against Tranmere. So let's have a quick look at this one. Cambridge against Tranmere. Possibility second half. It's been a very quiet first half. 1 shot on, 3 off and 2 corners. But possibilities. Odds on favourite, a goal down. We can get rid of Motherwell now. This is what we were expecting out of them, and Olympiacos as well. Let's have a quick look at Cesena. Well, they're not adding to their shots on target as the clock is ticking. And Bari, you can see the difference this will make to Bari today. If they can hold on. Have a quick look. Area B, live standings. The standings will be very helpful for you coming to this part of the season. So Bari are outside. Oh, they're nearly outside of the relegation zone. They're in the relegation playoffs with this win today if they can hold on. Cesena, well, they could have done with an extra 2 points, couldn't they? Get them to 36. And knocking on the door of Palermo for a quick move into the semi-finals rather than going through the quarters. Even at this early stage, relative to the season end. Well, Man City, so looks like quality has overcome a Wolves side who were in decent nick this season. Or not this season, the last 4 matches unbeaten. So let's get back and check out. You can see Cesena gone very, very quiet. Bari edging nearer to getting out of that relegation problem. Just waiting on Mainz, so as you can see the momentum has dropped. Now the Wolf are getting interested. It's very difficult to trust a side in their league position, Mainz. So I'm not too keen on jumping on board just yet. Frankfurt and a half. If I can just see if I can bring up my tab, because it's not showing. Maybe the entire screen will help. So let's see if it will bring this up for you. Yeah, indeed. So there you can see. That's the effect of just that single goal. Nice and early. And if we can get that 2-1 before about the 65th, 70th minute, then that's 3 goals out of 5. Don't forget, we're not going for 5 goals. We're going for the hint of 5 goals. So risk and reward, that was £6.93. That was about £4. It's just that single goal. So again, if you double that, you double that. If you triple that, you triple that. So it's all about your liability and your reward there. So nice early goal. I always go for the stretch a little bit, which is problematic. If you wanted a better strike rate, you could just move down, couldn't you? We've got plenty of goals coming in. Leipzig have an opening goal against Heidenheim. Looking, well, 62nd minute. I didn't look to lay that draw, alas. Suddenly, Cesena are going for it. Now, do you fancy a late play here with Cesena? Let's have a look. Getting low enough, Bari. The only thing Bari have going for them now is the clock. The clock is solidly with Cesena, isn't it? Sorry, solidly with Bari. Cesena are putting the foot on the gas. And this again presents an opportunity for you to either lay now or lay at 1.09 and 1.06. So laying for a fiver here. Going again, 1.14. Going again, 1.09. And that's just for 11. And then 1.06 at 17. So if we can get an equalizer, the later, the better. But we know that the clock is not our friend. So let's keep our liability as short as possible. I'll just put the heater on, it's getting a bit nippy here. I should be in Thailand, I think, next Sunday, I think. So there won't be anything next Sunday. 5 minutes extra time at Cesena, says Stuart as well. So that helps us. 9 shots on, 10 off 16 corners. The more corners, the nearer they are to the goal. 88-88. Can they break through? Bari with a win could change their season, couldn't they? And it's 2-1 to the mighty Hoff. Now you see why I like that goal action. Now it's getting a little nicer, isn't it? Again, it's all relative. If that was a £7 multiplied by 2 or multiplied by 3, that would be 33 quid, wouldn't it? 12, 24, 36. So it's all relative to the amount risked. So it's up to you. If you want to increase your liability, you increase your possible returns. Now we are within. Don't forget, Frankfurt love a 3-3, don't they? They love a 3-2, a 3-3. Look at that, 15 quid. That is quite tempting, to be honest. Knock that, get that green. That's 15% of your £100 target. Not too shabby. But check out the amount of time gone. 61st minute. You know the Frankfurt habit. Recently, 3-2, 3-3, etc., etc. So up to you. Are you going to cash out now? Or are you going to wait for a bit more? So it's a quite nice play, that one, isn't it? If you'd gone 2.5 goals, of course, you'd be in the bag by now. If you'd gone 3.5 goals, you'd have had an even better return, wouldn't you? So it's up to you which market you choose. Oh, sorry, that's a Cesena match. It's up to you which market you choose. Looks like Bari are getting away with it. Or everything matched. You can see the liability is very low indeed. So it's nothing majorly to worry about there. Elsewhere, Mainz have not added their shots on target yet, have they? Mainz have not added a shot on target. Como, job done. Brilliant performance from them today. And Bari have done it. Bari have got the goal they seek. So Mainz, well, nothing doing second half shots on target wise. So I'm not willing to trust them. I was happy to go in the half-time market, but not full-time. This is a lovely play. It's brewing up very nicely. Again, Leverkusen could be gettable here. We'll have to wait and see. We're expecting a second goal from Bayern Munich. Heidenheim and Leipzig. Well, it's going as per expectation, so I think I'll get rid of that one. Leicester City are going to find it difficult to break down Oxford, as you can see by the momentum. They're not building up any head of steam. It's going to be a difficult task for the odds-on favourites, I think, today. Bristol City possibility second half breakthrough if Sheffield Wednesday were as poor as they were against Birmingham City last week. Man City and Wolves will be looking, well, wouldn't be looking at anything now, to be honest. But if you want to delay Man City, quite happy to lay them. Partick Thistle delivering today, so we can get rid of that. St Johnstone still 0-0, but no shots on. No shots off at all for St Johnstone there. Cambridge against Tranmere, 1.7 favourites. Looking okay. 1 shot on, 3 off and 2 corners. 3 wins in 4. Bromley, just a smattering of odds against. 1 shot on, 8 off, 4 corners. Not really appealing at the moment there. Just get rid of a few of these as we wait for the second halves to begin. We're looking for more goals to come for Frankfurt and the Hoff. Are we going to see them? Because the more goals we see, the bigger the profits. And we have had a goal come in. And it's 1-3 to the mighty Hoff. So, yes, this has been a cash-out opportunity here, I think. Time to get out. Don't wait for that 5th goal because it's sod's law. It won't arrive. Now, that's a lot nicer, isn't it? But, oh, that's tempting. Oh, 61 quid. We've only got 1 goal to go. But wait for this to tighten up a bit because this is the gap between the back and the lay. So have you played? Are you staying in? Or are you greening up? Because that's a decent return. It's a 6-1 return there, relative. Just going to wait for this to tighten up just a little bit. 1 goal away. 1 goal away from doubling the money. I told you this could be 3-2, 3-3. And this is just what the Hoff do. Even when they're not strong odds on, I'm going to take the green. I think it's well worth taking their decent stuff from the mighty Hoff. Fabulous stuff. Delighted with that. Let's just go back. So I hope you played. Are you staying in for that 5th goal? Well, 5th goal. Are you staying in? Because that would be a very nice play indeed if you are staying in. 0-3 to Leipzig now. So, yeah, Heidenheim are just that poor, aren't they, this season? Not looking good at all. So do let me know if you were interested in looking for that final gain or not. Excellent performance. So let's just see if they can put the cherry on top for those of you staying in. You've got plenty of time left. So we'll see whether they can bring it in for you lot. But past history tells me you're waiting for that final goal, and then you're waiting and you're waiting, and it just never arrives. It's a real tearjerker for traders. It's like waiting for that idiot to score a penalty, and they never do. Oh, the heartache of it all. Mainz have made it 1-1, so fair enough. You can see up there. If you went strictly with the in-play stats, Stuart's got out of Frankfurt. If you went with Mainz, Stuart, well done. In-play stats, you're solidly with them all day long. Motivation, you're solidly with them all day long. But just season long, they've only conjured up 2 or 3 wins all season. Awful, awful stuff. Bayer Leverkusen, still think they might be gettable at some point. Bayern Munich, second goal. Are we going to see it today? This is your typical post-Champions League huffing and puffing against the sides you should be beating very comfortably indeed. 1.06 is a worrisome price for a 1.09 pre-match favourite, at least on Betfair. Well, I wonder if there's a surprise lurking there. Leicester City, I'm going to struggle to get any enthusiasm about taking on Oxford United. They just look a little bit too hot defensively. But we will see whether we get that momentum rise, because it's been flat as a pancake, you can see there quite clearly. Bristol City, we're waiting for the second half to begin. Can they do what Birmingham did yesterday? I can have a quick look at soccer stats, see if Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday have a good concession rate second half. That would be the Championship. So while you're looking at the in-play stats, we can check that one out and see what we can see. So Sheffield, where are they? Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday. I'm just going to have a quick look at this for you and tell you if there's anything of interest there for you. Because last week, 2 goals second half, no win in 21. They've not scored in the last 5 matches, Sheffield Wednesday, and the home side have not scored in the last 3. So that's a slight concern for you getters or takers on of 0-0. That's a slight worry. And 2 losses in 3 against the bottom 3 away at home for Bristol City is, again, another slight concern. Looking at the goal times, well, it's only good news, I think, from the 75th minute onwards, as you can see there. 7 of 12 goals conceded away from home for Sheffield Wednesday have come in the second half. So that's something new to think about. 2 0-0s at half-time at home, none at full-time, 1 at full-time. 2 0-0s at half-time away, 1 at full-time. So a 50% record there. And the problem with me is a 0-0 recently there. 0-0 recently there. Failure to score as well. So you're only going to be reliant really on one side, which is a slight concern for me. So I'm a bit worried with that one. It's not quite as sharp as Birmingham. Birmingham's stats as well were really, really solid last week. So this is not in keeping with what we expect. So just taking you back to the guru now. You can see that Mainz equaliser. I hope you followed the in-play stats there and had a good look at that. You can see now that Werder Bremen are starting to look interested in a what is a very, very shaky. And the Mainz have made it 2-1. Well, they did deserve it, don't they? They certainly deserve it. So well done, Mainz. Certainly deserved that 2-1. I can take that one off the watch list now. But just looking a bit shaky by Leverkusen. 3 consecutive defeats in all competitions. And with Werder Bremen starting to their momentum drive upwards, if we can get that Leverkusen at even shorter odds, we might have a bit of fun with that one. Bayern Munich, again, just pre-Champions League, a bit like post-Champions League. A bit like Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, just edging out a 1-0 win against a side they're expected to absolutely boss. So, are they going to turn it around? And they have. Look at that. Did you lay? It looked like it, didn't it? I wish I'd followed in there. That 1-1. We should have been alerted to it here, which we were. And Lorient scored first against Rennes. That could be something of interest. But Lorient are not as weak as Le Havre were last week. But this looks interesting. Bayern Munich, now are they going to score their second goal? It hasn't come up yet on the Guru. Now we're going to have to be testing that 2-goal habit for Bayern Munich out. It just looked like they were gettable today, didn't it? Post-Champions League, 1 or 2 of these sides are going to huff and puff. Now we've got some fun and games. We're going to have to rely on that Bayern Munich win. I would suggest it's a much changed Bayern Munich side today. That's why they're just underperforming. I'll just get rid of a few of these. So I don't know if you took on Bayern Munich with the short odds. I gave it a mention, but not incredibly strong mention. Well, Motherwell we can get rid of. I'll get rid of a few of the others as well. In Scotland, we've got some odds on favourite matches coming in. Bromley against Swindon, Ajax making it 2-0. But that Bayern Munich Augsburg is very interesting indeed. Let's take a look. Bayer Leverkusen against Augsburg. Arthur and the Chavs. Fantastic. Arthur Daly and the Chavs. 2 of my favourite footballing personalities. Arthur Chavs. Fantastic. I'm going to have to get a kit with his name on the back. Arthur Chavs. 75,000. I've seen the mighty Arthur Chavs get the goal. Now we're going to have to see whether Bayern Munich can score the 2 goals they've been scoring consistently this season. Arthur Chavs. Well, they are at evens at the moment, Bayern Munich. Is Arthur Chavs going to steal Bayern Munich's catalytic converter? We will see. 2.1 they are with 12 minutes to go. The draw is 2.22 if Arthur Chavs can make it 2-2. It's going to be a fascinating end to that one. This is your typical pre-Champions League. Let's have a look at the lineups. Harry Kane is playing. Michael Olise is playing. Diaz is playing. Subs, Musiala and Kimmich, 61st minute. So it's a very, very strong Bayern Munich lineup. Stats-wise, well, there's just been flat as a pancake, haven't they? And the momentum has risen for Augsburg just at the right time as well. So a fascinating end to this. Are you going to be laying the draw and hoping for those 2 goals from Bayern Munich that they keep scoring? Are they going to keep scoring them today? Nothing much doing in the Premier League for me. Let's have a look at our odds on list. Not much doing in the Premier League. Well, Burnley 1-1 against Tottenham. I don't have a strong opinion in that one. Fulham and Brighton, I don't have a strong opinion. 2.55 the favourite. It could be anything. Could be an away win, could be a home win, could be anything. Man City looked layable at 2-0 up, certainly post-Champions League, with just a little bit of a weaker side. Bristol City, it's all about whether they can start rising that momentum and getting the goals coming in like Birmingham did in the second half against Sheffield Wednesday last week. Bolton, well, Leyton Orient have equalised. Leyton Orient do need the points. And in English League 2, no great surprises with Bromley equalising against Swindon. I don't know if you fancied that, but Cambridge United and Tranmere. Do you like Cambridge United? I don't know where these two are relative to each other in the league. Got a suspended market. Is that Bayern Munich making it 2-1, or is it Augsburg getting a winner? A typical post-Champions League match. And it is Augsburg. Wow. So if you laid the draw there, goodness me, you can have some fun and games at the end of this match. Now, Bayern Munich, the last time they were 1-2 down, they did score that second goal. So that in itself might offer you an interesting play. That might offer you an interesting play in the hope that Bayern will make it 2-2, get their usual 2 goals. The last time this happened, it was a Harry Kane penalty doing it. So do you trust them? Because this could be a chance for you to take Augsburg on late and low. Bayern Munich +1 is at 2.16 at the moment. It's the same as laying Augsburg, of course. So this could be fascinating coming to the end of this match. I'll have a look at some of the markets for you and see whether Bayern can do it. Probably be the match odds market. That would be the market of interest here. Let's just bring these up for you and show you around. Harry Kane is playing, so that's something at least. So again, I've lost the tab. I'm going to have to see if I can get to it again. So this is what you see currently. Augsburg at 1.79. Bayern Munich at 9.2. Is that 9.2 all right for you to have a tickle? With 7 minutes to go. Probably going to be a 2-2. You can have a correct score market. 2-2 at 3.05, 3-2 at 9.6. Again, it's going to be the same kind of odds that you're going to see in the match odds for draw and win. Exactly the same kind of odds. So are you going to be waiting to lay Augsburg, or are you going to dip your toe in at 9s? Because if they score, those odds are going to drop markedly, aren't they? You're not going to get 10s if it's 2-2. 88th, 89th minute, you're not going to get 10s. You're probably going to get Bayern Munich at about 3s or 4s if we're going to have some Fergie time and it's 2-2. So it could be their first loss or their first inability to score 2 goals this season. So watch out for this one. Wow. I haven't been on Telegram. I'm a naughty boy. I should pop on and mention this. Bayern Munich 1, Augsburg 2, post-Champions League woes for Bayern Munich. I'm going to start backing them at 10s and 11s and higher in the hope that they can get that equaliser and we'll have enough extra time for them to possibly push on. Or you could lay Augsburg and hope that Bayern Munich continue their 100% two-goal scoring habit. Post-Champions League blues, though, for Bayern. You can see it. So up at 12s, just add another 50p. Just keep working at it. And then once Augsburg's odds get low enough, we can start laying them. And Mainz doing a great job today for those of you who followed them in. And this is exactly what I'm talking about with Frankfurt and the Hoff, isn't it? You're waiting for that fifth goal and it never arrives. That's why we don't play to get that fifth goal. We play for the hint that it will arrive. Just looking at some of these late plays, well, it looks like the momentum has flattened a little bit for Werder Bremen. I'm not hot on taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Just waiting to see whether the change in momentum will occur here late on. Leicester. Well, St Johnstone have conceded first against Dunfermline. That might be a trade as well there. St Johnstone have been in excellent form this season. Bristol City against Sheffield Wednesday. We've still not got that goal. Why? Only the 2 shots on target. Not quite what you were seeing from Birmingham City last week, was it? No shots on target second half. Coming to the hour mark is a slight concern. So I'm going to be holding my tongue on this one and just waiting to see whether Bristol City can do something. St Johnstone against Dunfermline. Possible play there. Cambridge. Are you willing to take on this Tranmere lead? 1.7 home favourite. 3 wins in 4. 4 shots off target, only the 1 second half, and at 1 second half corner there. It's looking good. If they can keep Tranmere quiet, you might have a possible play with that one there. Bromley, well, just hit the 100 mark. 2.05 odds on. Coming from behind already. We can get rid of University Cluj and Valencia. Don't have a strong opinion on. So it's just really Bayern Munich if you fancy some late action with that one. I'll just tidy up a few of these. And then we can sit and wait to see whether Bayern Munich can do the job. Santa Clara looking good away at Moreirense coming to half-time. Can they deliver? I think they need the points. Ajax 2-0 up already. Job done for them today. 4 out of 4 odds on favourites in the Eredivisie today. Olympiacos we can get rid of. We've got an odds on favourite goal coming in. So we'll have a quick check of that one. And that's Cambridge United equaliser. So did you take that one on? It looked good, didn't it? Tentatively. A sudden rise in the momentum and a sudden goal. It had a decent enough profile about it, didn't it? Mike's job done there. Brilliant. And there we go. We're not getting that 5th goal. So I hope you cashed out. That was a really good call. And we're just going to clean up a few of these. Keeping our eye on Rennes. Odds on favourite pre-match. Did come from behind to get the draw last week, but against weaker opponents than today's. So just happy to have a watching brief on that one. Nothing doing at all from Wolves today. No shots on target. Fulham have been in really good form, but this was a 2.55 the favourite match. Very difficult to take on any of these two sides. Are we going to see this draw ending? 2 draws in 3 for Burnley. Both teams to score yet again for them. Tottenham desperately need the win. We had a goal come in an odds-on favourite match, so I'll have a check of that one for you. I don't think it's Bayern Munich. Are they going to fail to score 2 goals for the first time ever this season. Post-Champions League woes for Bayern. So let's just check the odds on goal. That's Cambridge and Partick Thistle 2-1. And Slaven Belupu have scored against Rijeka. Is that going to be the second Croatian HNL 1 league match where the odds on favourite concedes first and then equalises? So keep an eye on that particular match. So we're just going to get rid of a few of these. English League 2, don't have any strong opinions. No, the odds-ons are all delivering. English League 1, Bolton remains 1-1 with Leyton Orient. Both of these two sides could do with a win. 5th against 16th. Although we're getting a bit comfortable, Leyton Orient, mid-table, but Bolton could do with an extra 3 points. And Bristol City have the goal against Sheffield Wednesday. It has come eventually, if you laid the draw in that particular match. Wickham are looking good against Peterborough. But is this all first half or second half? It looks like the majority of it is first half. But 1 shot on, 2 shots off, 2 corners. That's Doncaster and Wigan. Peterborough been going through a bit of a wobbly patch, losing at odds on last week, leading today. Keep an eye on that one if you wanted to take on that lead for Peterborough. Nothing much else here, just waiting to see whether Bayern Munich can score that second goal. Swansea against Hull. Well, how about that? Swansea on the cusp of getting an equaliser. Is it still a multiply injured Hull side? Are they going to be vulnerable still? So we've got plenty of interest. Second half, interesting angles. You can see that Swansea going for it. Pre-match odds, 2.2 home favourites, Hull. And there's a Bristol City goal. Still nothing from Bayern Munich. Let's see, where are they? Extra time, starting to light up the momentum. This could be the time where you start laying Augsburg. Just working our way down, see if we can build it up. Are we going to see those 2 goals? Are we going to see them? Is this going to be a late show from Bayern Munich? First time this season they've failed to score that second goal. Is it going to come? Keep my liability low, but still just building it up on the draw. You can even start backing the draw. But it's a similar odds, to be honest, 1.1 and 10s. There we go. Keep my liability low. Let's just see whether Bayern Munich have that late goal in them to keep that 2-goal habit going. They did need a penalty last time they were 1-2 down, and Harry Kane did dispatch it. But this could be the time that things do not go their way. I'm just picking up a couple of quids here and there. Very low liability, as you can see. And just building up the draw and making sure the liability stays manageable and low. Are we going to see that 2-2? We're going to see a post-Champions League blues for Bayern Munich. 1.07, 1.06. Building it up slowly. 1.04. Looks like Augsburg might have nicked it. Wow. So I'll keep going until the bitter end. Might get a late corner. And that will see a small rise in the odds. As you can see there, like that. 106, 107 must be a late corner or a free kick within Augsburg's half. You can see that quick rise. I've got all of these down, all the way down to 104. That must be indicative of a corner or something. So can they pull it off? We will wait and see. Could be the first time Bayern Munich cock this up this season. Are you able to follow the screens? I think so. Suspended market, that's probably the end of the match. I would suspect they've run out of time. So that's the way to do that 1-2. All good things must come to an end. And you've seen that for Bayern Munich, ending that run of 2+ goals scored. It hasn't come up here yet. I think it must be the end of the match. No, we're still going. Still have some hope. I'll get rid of Bayer Leverkusen. Now we'll get hearing some final whistles blowing, and it's ended 1-2. So liability kept to a bare minimum. We still have the chance of a decent profit, and this is all down to the Champions League. It's as simple as that. Just looking at some of the other matches, you can see the momentum is rising. You can get rid of Bayern Munich now. The momentum is rising for Bolton, 1.57 pre-match favourites. But momentum rising for Bristol City. Did you lay that draw there like last week? Hull. Well, Swansea, this is where you want to be seeing them scoring when it hits 100 on the momentum. That's when you want to see a goal. And Cambridge and Tranmere, well, it's going the way of the odds, isn't it? Twice now Cambridge have come from behind. We could see another goal, see a Desmond 2-2 in that particular match. And a Rennes equaliser has come a little bit too early for me against Lorient. Well, I wasn't keeping an eye on the stats, to be honest with you. They were down here, but nothing much showing to suggest an equaliser. But they were pre-match favourites. They did it last week. Came from behind to get the equaliser. Let's just have a quick look through. I might call it a day soon because we're not seeing many plays. I was happy to get that over 4.5 goals in. Raika and Slaven Bulupu, keep an eye on this one because we saw earlier on the odds-on favourite at home did deliver. But these sides are coming off the back of a winter break. So there might be a chance for them. And indeed, can Wickham do something against Peterborough? Ticking all the right boxes, but just the one shot on target, 4 shots off, and 2 corners. So they're doing okay. We just keep an eye on this. Going to pop off, get myself a drink very quickly. Again, my throat is just feeling it a little bit. I won't be long. In a second, I'll keep the in-play stats up for you. Keep an eye on Peterborough. Okay. Peterborough against Wickham. I think we might get an equaliser there. So I'll see you in a sec. Okay, any sign from Wickham? Well, Peterborough make it 0-2, so I'm glad I held out there. Welcome to English League One. That's about sums up that. So a very useful break to get a drink there. That saved me a bit of dough because I was very tempted there. Fulham equaliser against Brighton. Again, it's a 2.5, the favourite match. I wasn't too keen on that one. Wickham will be kicking themselves there, but a quick couple of shots on, couple of shots off from Peterborough, and they are 2 goals ahead now. And this was what I warned you about with Leicester City, Oxford United. Very tough to score against. Look at this. They've not let Leicester get above 50 momentum-wise. So that's absolutely no surprise to me at all. Glad I didn't play that one. This is the joys of the lower tiers. They can be very difficult matches for us to call. St Johnstone might offer us something, but only the 1 shot on, 2 off, and 8 corners. Is that enough momentum to get going with St Johnstone? I'll have a look at the market for you and see if there's any liquidity, firstly. And if there is, I'll pass it on for you. Well, Valencia Espanyol is 1-1. I don't see much liquidity here in the St Johnstone Dunfermline match. And 66th minute, you'll have to do it naked, so to speak, because there's not any real liquidity. And laying over 1.5 goals is at odds of about 1.64. So, not that appealing at the moment. I'll have a look in the match odds, and we're just lacking liquidity in this market as well, but they have been a decent enough side, St Johnstone, in the past for getting equalisers. But it looks like you might be battling. It's Dunfermline 1.7 to back, 1.79 to lay. So that is probably not a match to look at, I think, liquidity-wise. Fulham and Brighton, I'm just not going to play. It's a typical 2.5, the favourite match. It's very difficult to unpack. I would have expected Tottenham to aim for a win here today against Burnley. It's one of those sides you're expecting to do something against. Cambridge and Tranmere could be now entering that stage for a Desmond Tutu. That could be the possible play there. Bromley have gone off the boil a little bit, 12 shots off target. And, well, Wickham and Peterborough, that pretty much sums up English League One, doesn't it? Valencia Espanyol, a deserved equaliser, it seems, based on the in-play stats, in a 2.4, the favourite match again. So a tough coupon today, like it was last night. Did the Wren goal stand, or has it been dismissed? I'm just going to have a look because it's not showing. No, it remains, well, it says 0-0. Rennes and Lorient. I thought it was 0-1. Maybe there's an error with Soccer 24 there. Plenty of goals coming in. I can check it there because I can't see the equal. Yeah, it says 0-1 Lorient, and it's Soccer 24. It says 0-0. So I'm a little bit worried there. Not sure what's going on. So not much really to report apart from you can see Raika at the bottom there. Look good for an equaliser. And we've got the 0-1 up here now. And they're starting to motor a little there. Espanyol, well, are they continuing after Valencia have just made it 2-1 within 3 minutes. An interesting match. It's typical 2.4, the favourite, totally unpredictable. So you have to really base it on the in-play stats. But Rennes, possibility of an equaliser here against Lorient if they can continue this pressure, if that goal is confirmed. It didn't turn up. I think Soccer 24 is having a problem today. It's just not loading for me. Just have a quick look through these matches. I'll say goodbye to you at 4:45. Premier League, Man City, well, no problems there for them today. Fulham and Brighton's too tough for me to call. Just don't have an opinion, I'm afraid. And the lower tiers are not really, you've just seen with Peterborough, not that trustworthy, are they? Championship, well, Leicester, thankfully, my instinct about Oxford United's defence has saved me from any involvement there. I don't normally do 2.5 goals. I should be thinking about that really in some of these matches, because it stops the heartache of you not calling the equaliser correctly for the right team. Now, this is where my betting goes will come in, because I've got some really good patterns for those with second half goals and over 2.5 goals, both teams to score, which generally is an even Stevens, both teams to score, and 2.5 goals, generally 1.8 and 2.2, which is even Stevens with the over round. So that's something for me to look at, because it would be nice if we can have a neutral play, more neutral play, so we don't fixate on the equaliser like with Bayern Munich and like with the Frankfurt earlier on. I was expecting 3 goals from Frankfurt, but we got 3 goals from the Hoff. Oh, Burnley have made it 2-1 against the Tottenham. Oh, now let's head off and check out Burnley this season and check out Tottenham, because this is not a good Tottenham side, is it? Or not a good manager, one of the two. Now we've got a lead for Burnley, desperate need for points. And if you see this membership, go to matches, and you should be able to bypass it somehow with the stats here, Burnley and Tottenham. And we can have a quick look at this one. So working your way down, you can see Burnley at home. Only the 2 wins at home against Sunderland and Leeds. So newly promoted sides, the only sides they're able to beat. They've had a 2-3 defeat against Fulham, London side, 2-2 against Man United, where they've scored 2 without winning. And how about Tottenham? Well, Tottenham look okay, don't they, away from home? I think it's the home fans which are making them perform poorly. But away from home, picking up plenty of wins. 0-3 against West Ham, 1-2 against Leeds. But at no time have they really been competitive when they've conceded 2 goals, apart from that Newcastle match. Brighton match here. Bournemouth, recent match away at Bournemouth, where they conceded 2. They scored 2, but they didn't push on. So I'll have a look at that market for you and see whether there is anything to be had here. Trusting a side like Spuds, though, very difficult. You can't really take insurance out at this stage of the match either. So Burnley at 1.4 to lay. Are you tempted with that? And Tottenham at 23s to back with 12 minutes to go. I'll just see if I can get the liability low on this one. Probably be liability of about a tenner. I want to get over 100. Yeah, I'll show you that. It's looks reasonable enough. I'm going to be laying Burnley at 1.38. Small back of Tottenham at 24s. Burnley, they've had a couple of 2-0 wins, but they've also had a few 2-2s. It's 2-1 at the moment to them. 12 minutes to go. And Tottenham have scored 2 goals quite a lot away from home as well, including a couple of wins against the bottom 5 away. So they are far better away from home, Tottenham, than they are at home. Home pressure seems to get them, but away they're picking up quite a few wins. So it's a decent low odds for Burnley, I think, 1.38. Champions League on Wednesday as well, says Paul. Stuart got on QPR, lay the draw before he could post, but well done on that QPR play there, Stuart. Tottenham Champions League on Wednesday. Thank you very much, Paul. So that's is that a negative? Indeed. Post Champions League spuds. Have a look at the in-play stats. For me, yeah, again, a bit like Bayern Munich. Paul is quite right in pointing out the Champions League potential woes. 1.58 expected goals, 9 shots on, 5 off and 2 corners. But how many of them come second half? Only the 2 second half shots on target. 1 second half shots, 2 shots against. Shots off, no corners. So it's been a very quiet half. And they haven't really risen to the heights of the first half. So Paul is right to be cautious here. So maybe you want to delay your entry into Burnley, just given the fact it's Burnley. Only 2 wins, and they were 2-2. But when their opponent has scored, they haven't won at home, have they? And Tottenham a little bit more robust, losing to the Arsenal, local derby, losing to Bournemouth while scoring 2 goals, and an emphatic loss to Forest. But apart from that, picking up wins against, albeit a couple of London sides, unbeaten against a few London sides. But they do have that potential for 2 goals. So Paul is right. The possibility post-Champions League can get them. But I suppose if you're going to lay, you lay at this part of the match where you keep the liability low. We're not seeing the momentum rise either. So I was a bit quick in getting on that one. And Paul is quite right. Maybe just pause a little before having a look in there. Rennes are looking okay, aren't they? They've suddenly zoomed up. So that, for me, could be something to look at for Rennes. So I'll have a quick look at that one. They did it last week, but they're not real goal heroes all the time. They did huff and puff a lot against Le Havre. Millions of shots off target. Laying over 1.5 goals at 1.16 is reasonable enough. Rennes +1 would be preferable to the match odds, and it's only 1.73, but relative, I think it's reasonable enough. They did it last week. Home advantage coming to half time. If you can get the goal before half time, of course, but only 3 minutes to go to half time, that would be most excellent. We've got a few goals coming in. Reading have made it 2-2. Leicester have got a goal back against Oxford. But will Oxford hold firm? I wouldn't have laid Oxford United. Maybe 0-2 is a good entry point, but I wouldn't have laid them, given that strong defensive record. We've got a suspended market. So it's one of the 2 matches I'm looking at. It's either Rennes or it's Burnley and Spuds. It's one of the 2. We will see. So I think Rennes is might be worth your interest. You can see that rising in momentum. You might want to go into the half-time market. And if they don't score before half-time, you can reinvestigate this at half-time. That's Pendixspor and Erzurum. No, I was waiting for a goal in one of the 2 matches, the Burnley or Tottenham one, because I had one of the suspended markets. But no, nothing doing there. So Rennes, you might want to look half-time. You can see 82 momentum. They could just pick one up before half-time and be on their way. But both of these sides are in good, unbeaten form. We've got a red card for Sheffield United, 3-1 up against Ipswich. And it's interesting, wasn't it? The market had Ipswich 1.6 favourites, two consecutive home matches, and they didn't fancy them at all away from home. Play this coming Wednesday. Thank you very much, Paul. So, yeah, that's probably the reason for Tottenham's upset today. Thank you very much for that, Paul. That tells a real story. And you can see with Rennes against Lorient, if they can continue this second half. Might want to have a quick look. Half-time market for Rennes. I'll just have a quick look. 1.11 to lay Lorient in a half-time market. Yeah, that looks decent enough for a quick play. When you're hitting 90 plus, if you can convert, it would be an excellent return. But if they don't get it in, you've got the half-time market to look into the match. I note that Lorient are also unbeaten recently, so they could be a tough nut to crack. But 3 shots on, 4 off 3 corners, 98 momentum for Rennes. You can quite clearly see that there. That's what had me interested in a possible half-time market equaliser. So we're coming to the end of the 3 o'clocks. A few minutes left. Not seeing anything which catches my eye, really. Cambridge have made it 3-2. There we go. So have you been with them throughout? That's why I love to do these odds-ons. If you can latch onto one of these, which I didn't, alas, then you can really clean up. Raika looks interesting as well. 1 shot on, 4 off, but look at this from Rennes. Can they get that goal before half-time? You can see that 102 there. 1 shot on, 4 off, and 2 corners for Raika. Can they do a number? We will see. So they're looking okay, Raika, for the equaliser. Just having a look at St Johnstone as well, coming to the end. 9 corners to 6. It's really been a good defensive display from Dunfermline, who were on a run. 2 consecutive wins. St Johnstone tend to keep clean sheets, which is why if you did do this, you lay over 1.5 goals in this one. Dunfermline have beaten Hibs in the FA Cup, and Wraith Rovers, who are odds on today, 1-2. They tend to score and concede, though, outside of the cup. So is there going to be any joy for St Johnstone? 3-3, Donny and Wigan. But it's with Rennes. I think you might want to pin your hopes on second half if they can't break through first. 110 normally sees a goal on its way. So nothing really. That's a suspended market. That'll be the half-time market, I suspect, in the Rennes match. Not quite getting there, but laying at 1.1 is not going to harm you much at all. Let's have a quick look. Get rid of a few of these. Modena and Palermo, no thank you. Fiorentina might be interesting. They are on an unbeaten run of 4 in all competitions, trying to wriggle their way out of trouble. I'm not going to play Fulham and Brighton. I don't want to be tempted in by a 2.5, the favourite match. So if you play Cambridge, well done. I didn't trust them. Should have trusted them. Donny and Wigan, you can keep an eye on that. Desmond 3-3, 17 shots off target for Donny. Must have Mr. Magoo playing up front for them. Is there going to be a 7th goal there? So glad I went for a cup of tea and missed that Peterborough play. Reading and Barnsley. Possible Desmond there. So I'll work my way through these. I wonder if Leicester City will grab the equaliser. The momentum has started to rise, but Oxford United are a very defensively led side. Birmingham against Stoke. Bristol City getting the 2 goals that Birmingham got last week. So if you laid the draw there. QPR 1 goal, 2-1 up against Wrexham. But it's QPR who's putting in the late momentum run. So don't know if we'll get an equaliser there. Let's get rid of a few of these. And we're up to date with the matches to look at. And you can see Rennes absolutely standing out for a second half play. I would suggest if they can continue that pressure. But they are playing an unbeaten side as well, so it's a tough nut to crack, this one. Let's see what the research said. Only 3 defeats, 2 of them came away, 6 wins and 8 scored and conceded in the last 6 at home. L'Oreal, though, are unbeaten in 7, but they only have 1 away win. So we've got that both teams to score pattern for Rennes, really suggesting a second half go. I'll pass that one on to Telegrammers as well. Rennes and L'Oreal, Rennes hitting the magic 100 mark just before halftime, didn't quite convert, but both teams have scored. They're a goal down. Both teams have scored in the last 6 home matches, 6 wins and 8 for Rennes, and L'Oreal, despite being unbeaten in 7, have only got 1 away win. So I've laid over 1.5 goals, and I'll be looking at the possibility of a Rennes equaliser second half. And we got a Tottenham 2-2. Did I get matched? Let's have a look. Did I get matched? There we go. Lovely jubbly. I'll just show you that. Excellent stuff. Paul was right about the Champions League element, but we also got to bear in mind that Burnley, when they score 2 goals, they only tend to get wins. So I'm not going to tempt fate here, even though 12 versus 22, it's tempting you to go in for the 130, isn't it? But I'll take that. You add that to the Eintracht Frankfurt, that's up to 50 quid now, just for those 2, with very small liability. So well done if you've got in later than I did, because of Paul's concern with the Champions League upcoming match. You could have laid Burnley at even shorter odds. Back to the spuds. You can see the importance of backing sides. Look, backing Tottenham at 24s, you can lay them off at 10s. Just add a little bit of extra. And if they score the goal in the 88th minute or 87th minute, their odds are going to be even shorter. So that was an excellent play. Delighted with that one. They've got the personnel to do it. It's just whether they have the Bayern Munich Champions League woe. Good stuff. 1.92 XG. Job done there. So delighted with that. I've got to make sure I save this. I keep forgetting to save my green screens for those videos. Donny, 3-3. Well, the momentum's not rising. Could do with that rising at the end, so we could just lay that draw. But I wouldn't put you off laying that draw late on, particularly in a 3-3. If we've got plenty of second half goals as well, we've got 4 of them, and it's a real thriller for Donny coming from behind. Wigan coming from behind. So this might not be over. And Wrexham, Desmond Tutu in the bag if you took that one on. Wrexham against QPR, the red card, is that just arrived? Yes, it has. I missed that completely. Damn. I didn't get alerted to the red there. What a pity. But excellent stuff. Fulham, if you did lay the late draw, I think Stuart was looking for that one. But he missed. It's just not a match I had any great interest in at all. Just going to knock a few of these off. Will Leicester get a late equaliser? Probably QPR are going to survive this one. Not QPR, but Oxford United are going to survive this one. And old Jane getting a red card late on. Glad I avoided laying the posh. It was I was so near, but I got a cup of tea to thank for that. So I will be praising that cup of tea later on. This is one that got away. Cambridge United, lots of fun with that one. St Johnstone still 0-1. And it's 2-2, Valencia and Espanyol. And I suppose based on the in-play stats, that is about right, isn't it? 5 shots on, 10 off and 6 corners. about right, but another tough match to call. 2.4 the favourite. Lots of them today. So as we're coming to an end, I'll say good night to you soon. I don't think we've got anything else waiting on us, but do bear in mind Wren later on. St Johnstone have not really come alive, have they, second half? But this is one of those, if you lay over 1.5 goals, then you've got that 0-1 covered, haven't you? And you've got the side who are motivated. They're in top position, motivated for automatic promotion. Cambridge, that's a pity that would have been a lovely one. Donny and Wigan, have a quick look at this one. Doncaster and Wigan. It's a bit of liquid, so you'll be laying the draw at 1.09 and 106, I think. Well worth doing, because it's plenty of second half noise from Wigan. And 1.06. Just in case Wigan want to finish the job, having scored 3 second half goals. That would be an excellent one. So off we go there. Those are in the bag, waiting to see if they're going to be matched with a late winner. That should be about that for the session. So I'll thank you very much for coming. And I'm sorry I cocked up the video earlier on. I don't know how I couldn't get on the stream, because you don't normally use OBS software for this. So my apologies there. I'm going to say goodbye to you now. Thanks very much for coming along. I do appreciate it. And one day I'll do a Sunday live stream. I might do it tomorrow, but it's all about family as well. I've got brothers and that I won't be seeing for a while if I go to Thailand again. So have a great rest of your evening. I'll be on Telegram for you a little bit later. Thanks a lot for coming, and thanks very much for your inputs as well. They are very useful for everybody as well. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you on Telegram if we've got any decent plays. Watch out for Wren second half.